There have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, nobody's going to talk about, because they're going to talk about the Epstein, whatever. I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough, because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from two people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
Trump says that the Epstein files are a hoax that never ends. So right off the bat, I got to ask, was it a hoax when Trump fanned the flames back when it was politically convenient on the campaign trail?
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So
Nobody ever heard of Bill Clinton on a predator island before Donald Trump brought it up, or Prince Andrew. And it's commendable, because Donald Trump was right. Bill Clinton did go to that island. There's tons of evidence of that, including but not limited to the victim testimony. And of course, Prince Andrew paying 10 million plus pound sums in order to silence victims. I mean, Trump was telling us before anybody knew about this.
Or was it a hoax when Trump's cabinet members were fanning the flames to build their brands?
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So it wasn't bullshit when Trump and Vance and Bongino and Patel and Bondi and Haba and Don Jr. needed something to peddle to the rubes in their base. They were all over the Epstein scandal then, but now that they're in power, now that the Epstein list is, quote, on Pam Bondi's desk, suddenly their hands are tied? Or is it that the file doesn't exist? Or is it that it does exist, but it was a forgery by Obama and Biden and Clapper and Comey? Or is it that we shouldn't even think about the Epstein list because Hillary's emails is a bigger scandal? Or maybe we should just arrest Barack Obama and Beyonce and Oprah? Or maybe announce that we're building a nuclear reactor on the moon? And if you think I'm lying about any of those, I'm not, including Trump sending former reality TV star and current transportation secretary Sean Duffy to start the process of building a nuclear reactor on the moon. The guy can't manage to keep planes in the sky right here on Earth, but sure, couldn't think of a better person to dive headfirst into interplanetary energy. What could possibly go wrong? But distractions aside, what Trump is trying to do is clear. He is throwing literally every distraction he can think of at everyone because he is just that desperate not to discuss the objective fact that this is very much the reality of the situation. He is very much implicated in the Epstein files. And that's not conjecture. Pam Bondi literally informed him months ago that his name was in there. That is why he's not releasing these files. That is why he's trying to point us in every direction. That is why Trump sent Todd Blanche, his deputy attorney general, and former criminal defense attorney in a personal capacity to a prison in Florida to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, the only person alive who could incriminate Trump. And her reward for that meeting was a move from a high security prison in Florida to a minimum security prison in Texas. Trump promised his supporters transparency on Epstein. The guy is quite literally working hand in hand with Epstein's sex trafficking accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. He's not offering accountability, he is entrenching the very system that he swore to expose. Trump goes on in the initial clip to say that they've already handed over thousands of documents. And that would sound good to someone who doesn't know that virtually all of the files that have been released thus far by the DOJ in response to an oversight committee subpoena were already released before. A point that even Republicans are conceding.
Democrats on your committee say 97% of the Epstein-related documents from the U.S. Justice Department released to the American people last night were already public. What do you say to that?
Well, the 3% that weren't public, that's 3% more than Joe Biden released when he was president. Look, President Trump is complying with our subpoena, with my subpoena. He's turning over documents. We posted 34,000 last night. We expect to get more documents as soon as we get those documents and review to make sure none of the victims' names are listed who don't want their names listed. Then we're going to put those online as well. And we're going to seek justice for the survivors. And I think that's what the objective of this investigation should be. It's to find out, not only the names of who some of the people were that abused the girls, but also to hold many of these criminals accountable. And that's what the victims who we met with yesterday asked us to do.
See? Guess we should just be happy with the crumbs. Trump promises accountability and instead buries us in paper that we've already seen, along with a few pages that tell us nothing of substance, and the Republicans do a victory lap. And finally, you'll notice how Trump says that we shouldn't talk about Epstein because we should talk about Donald Trump's successes instead. And the irony of that is that Trump has promised his supporters the world, but wholly and completely failed to deliver. He ran an entire campaign filled with fake populist promises. He promised an infrastructure law that never materialized, a healthcare plan that was cheaper and more comprehensive that never materialized, a middle-class tax cut that never materialized, a jobs boom that never materialized, a manufacturing renaissance that never materialized. In this term, he did the same thing, promising reduced costs and cheaper groceries and lower rent and justice when it comes to Epstein's victims and accountability for his criminal associates, but he's not delivering on any of those things. The only thing that he's actually done in both terms is give a tax cut to himself. I don't know how to make this any clearer. He does not give a shit about you. He never did. He just says things that people want to hear, but he never delivers. His entire presidency is a graveyard of broken promises. He didn't end the Russia-Ukraine war. He didn't lower prices on day one. He didn't bring down the cost of eggs. He didn't bring down inflation. He didn't release the Epstein files. He didn't usher in a manufacturing renaissance. And guess what? He won't, because those are just things he said to get your votes. And now that he got them, he doesn't need you anymore. Now it's about him. Now it's about his legacy. Now it's about his tax cut for himself. Now it's about his headlines. Trump's cover-up of the Epstein files isn't only a depraved act of the friend of a sex trafficker and pedophile. It is a slap in the face to every Trump voter who the guy conned for their votes, thinking that he would be different, when in fact, he is exactly the kind of person he promised to expose. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.